Okay. I'm live on YouTube. So y'all, this is a little bit different live than what I'm used to doing because my office is in kind of like a reworking process right now. So and plus it's cold, so I'm sitting on my couch doing my live on here. Uh, I wonder if YouTube has something like that. Let's see. I don't know if they do or not. Customization. Yeah, I guess not. Cancel. What is this? Share screen? No, I don't want to do that. What is this? Trying to edit this. What is this? It didn't do nothing. I want that to go away. Go away. Go away. Oh, is that it? Oh, okay. What is this? Manage. What is this? You don't have access to this feature? Well, why not? What is this? See, look, I just told y'all in my TikTok live, if y'all post something that disagrees or that is hateful or derogatory, I delete it. So this person that has no followers and is only following one, and your account is private, June something, your 2 comments that you posted are getting deleted, and you're getting yourself blocked. So if you post hateful things or negative things, I delete your comment and block you. Simple as that. It's as simple as that. So, telling somebody else they're wrong based on their religious views or their spiritual beliefs, um, for one, if you do believe in a religion, uh, for one, you shouldn't judge somebody on what they believe in, anyways. So, just saying, if you do, you do. I mean, I have people that judge me on, my things and so forth and so on, but, um, is what it is. But, what are you watching me on? You're just watching me on Facebook, love? And on YouTube? You're the only one watching. It is what it is, though. I mean, I just started them, though, so. I know, love. But I can't, it won't let me. Here, I'm going to turn my Bluetooth off and have you on the phone, but you can still talk to me, okay? Because it won't let me turn the volume down on my phone. Like, when I don't have the headphones on and I'm listening to you on the phone, it'll give me the option to keep hearing you on the phone, but turn down the volume of videos, like TikTok videos or something. But it doesn't do that on here when I have the Bluetooth on. So I don't know. What? Yes. Somehow. I don't know how, but it is. But I'm going to turn this off, the headphones, and I'm going to take them off and be on here, okay? No, don't do that. All right. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. I'll figure it out here in a second. Will you like my videos, please? Like the one on Facebook and like the one on YouTube, please. Yes, you, woman. Sorry. It doesn't show it on YouTube. I can see where you're liking it, but it doesn't pop up on the top. No, I don't think so. I don't know. I need to fix this though, this effect. I'm not a fan of it. That's not what I wanted to do. Effects. Man, it's not. What? That one? Which one did you say? That's this one, the one I'm on right now. Just wait, it might take time to go back to it. Yeah, that's what I'm keeping in. Yep. Oh, I know it does. It delays it. That's how they do. Like in real time, I can see what I'm saying on my cameras, but if you're watching me on this, it's delayed. So, but all right, love. Let me go ahead and I'm gonna turn this Bluetooth off. No, I don't want it to pair. Okay. Are you there, love? Okay, now I can't hear you. I gotta turn it up. You there?
Yeah.
I can barely hear you. Well, I can barely hear you. Huh. I don't know. This phone is irritating me.
Sorry.
This phone is irritating me. I don't know. Any hooser. All right. What was I going to talk about? My near-death experience. I gotta turn that down. I'm hungry, love. Huh? I'll go eat me something here in a little bit. Y'all give me a second. I'm putting something on to watch. Or not something to watch, but you know what I mean? Something in the background. Y'all don't have to watch it if y'all don't want to. I'm in the wrong app. So my near-death experience, y'all. You know, main reason I wanted to get on here and talk about this is because I watched a podcast last night, and then I watched a podcast today that was had to do with Wesley Huff. I watched the podcast with Wesley Huff and Billy Carlson last night, and then watched the other podcast with Wesley Huff and Joe Rogan today. And you know, there was some. I was listening to Wesley Huff, and I'm not saying that Wesley Huff doesn't know his stuff, because he does. But you know, there was some stuff when Billy Carlson was saying that you could tell, like, and plus, if you do research for yourself, then you know when something is factual and when something is a conspiracy theory, you know, so forth and so on. So you need to research it for yourself at the same time. You know, does this have factual evidence? Can we prove this? And you know, if you can, you can. If you can't, doesn't mean that it's not real and doesn't exist. It just means that the evidence to support the claims for it to be real are not there. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. That's the reason that I wanted to make this live too, is because there was things on both sides that both of them were saying, whether it was Billy Carlson or Wesley Huff. There was things that both of them were saying that, you know, I understand you want evidence for these things. You want to be able to prove they exist. I get that. But all I was trying to say is, just because there's not proof there to back something up doesn't mean that it's not real and doesn't exist. There's a lot of factors that come into things like that. So, hold on, y'all. I'm trying to find a specific thing on here to put into the background, because maybe it'll I'm going to have to watch that. I'm not putting that on. I'm going to have to pay attention to that one day. And then y'all are going to have to give me a second. I'm going to go get something to eat, but I'm going to bring it over here. That way I can be, you know, live with y'all and stuff like that. There is a series on Netflix that I'm going to watch it eventually, but it's called Surviving Death. I'm going to watch that series eventually. I just haven't. I've started on it several different times, and I just haven't watched it. But I'm going to watch it. Just give me time. I guess I'm going to have to type it into the freaking search bar, because I can't find it right now. And maybe in here. No. Now that Oh, what was that? Was that it? No, it's not. Let me type it in the search bar. Search. And there it is. Push play. All right, y'all. All right, y'all. Hold on. Fixing to go get me something to eat real quick. I'm hungry. I should have done this before I started the live, but I was already pushing my live back later than I wanted to get started. But I also wanted to just get started because I know at the beginning it's going to take time to, get people here. I posted about the live and everything, but I know it's going to take some time to get people here, so that's the reason I went live anyways right now. I know people are still got things going on, so y'all give me a second.
Well, the first time that I thought about infinity, I was looking up at the sky one night when I was about 10 years old.
That's really when it was before I started school. And I was sitting under a dining room table and counting. And at a certain point, I realized this goes on forever.
Lying on a beach late at night and just wondering the vastness of outer space. Does it go on forever?
Y'all ever watched A Trip to Infinity on Netflix? I mean, I haven't watched it either, but I got it on right now. Because I want to know. I just put it on for background noise at the moment. I eventually need to watch it though to see what it talks about. I'm just curious about it, you know what I mean?
I want to start with sort of the premise of the film, which is that we're looking for infinity. So, where should we go looking?
Well, I don't think everybody's looking for infinity.
So, is infinity a number, a place, an idea, a concept? If you ask me, probably all of the above.
Numbers never end. That's the basic idea of infinity.
If I imagine continuing to count for as long as I can count, infinity will definitely last longer than my lifetime.
The funny thing is that all these numbers that you can imagine, they're like zero, nothing. Any number, no matter how big, is just absolutely insignificant compared to infinity.
For me, infinity is not scary. I find infinity beautiful and haunting. I love it. I guess I start thinking about all the dead forever. There's a side to me that's
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm taking so long to get to it. But y'all know how I do my lives. I give it to y'all how I make it. I don't edit anything.
Well, love is certainly infinite because when we are overwhelmed by love, we have this constant sense of breaking the limits and boundaries.
All of these abstractions suddenly seem to me, well, maybe they're just the product of our lives.
Who invented infinity? I think to some extent the concept goes back earlier than anything that we know. In fact, counting is the very earliest writing that we have. Whoever invented writing already had the idea of counting, and the idea that you can always count one more must surely go back at least that far.
we have all kinds of different visions of things that are infinite, and they're usually terrifying.
I'm eating my leftover pizza, y'all.
There's the idea of time that never ends. If you believe in hell, and if you believe that torture going on forever, a nightmare that never ends. So I understand that a lot of people find thinking about infinity terrifying or nauseating, but at least very upsetting.
For some of us, it's kind of deep.
All right. Now I gotta let it cool down. I think I may have heated it up too long. Oops.
Because I know how small I am. I've been chasing that feeling my entire life.
So,
Exists outside of our minds. So does infinity exist?
my near-death experience and how it opened my connection with everything.
Oh yeah, it's good to collect thoughts. Okay, so I think I was gonna make a comment about like what it means to exist, right? So in math, I think we have an interesting relationship to stuff, to things and existence. If you can conceive of something, if you can kind of create rules for handling it, that exists.
Hold on.
How is infinity?
I gotta get a paper towel.
Well, okay, infinity is super counterintuitive, and it leads to a lot of surprising paradoxes, contradiction, intellectual quagmire, quicksand. Many of these are summed up in a parable
He said quagmire.
by the name of the Infinite Hotel.
All I could think about was Family Guy, quagmire. Giggity, 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 goo.
It's a really popular hotel.
Okay.
Every room is occupied.
So,
Nevertheless, there's always room at the Infinite Hotel.
my near-death experience, and
So one night,
okay, so 4 years ago,
bang, bang, bang on the bell. Like the room
I had a near-death experience that triggered an out-of-body experience that triggered an actual death experience.
just hold on for one.
Um, and before that, I didn't believe in God. Matter of fact, days before this experience, I didn't believe in God. And then next thing you know, during this near-death experience, out-of-body experience, and death experience, I'm side by side with God. And the whole time, God was smiling, which kind of confused me, you know, and I've thought about this after the fact, that even somebody that didn't believe in God, that met God, you're smiling, you know. It was kind of like I was in disbelief, you know. I was in disbelief that I don't believe in God, but yet you're smiling and you're here. So that was kind of a shock to me. But the reason for these lives is that so yesterday or last night, I watched the Wesley Huff and Billy Carlson podcast, and then today I watched the podcast with Wesley Huff and Joe Rogan. And there was a couple times that I'm not going to touch too much on the Billy Carlson Wesley Huff one, because if you've seen it, you've seen it. There's no explanation that I can give for it. I mean, if you've seen it, you've seen it. You know what happened in it. But the Joe Rogan Wesley Huff podcast, there was a couple subjects that Joe Rogan had brought up that really piqued my interest. And I was like, okay, what does Wesley Huff have to say about this? And he didn't really have much to say about it. It's almost like when Joe Rogan would bring it up, he would then go back to something he was originally talking about, Wesley Huff. So he never really got into the subject. Or there was a few subjects that Joe Rogan did bring up that Wesley Huff didn't know about. Okay, because you got to understand how Wesley Huff is an expert in his field of what he does. And he studies specific things. So if you study specific things and that's what you do, then of course you're not going to know about something else. You don't study it. You don't look into it. You don't research it at all. And that's kind of where Wesley Huff was and Joe Rogan was. Like Joe Rogan, he dives into a little bit of everything. And I'm not saying that Wesley Huff don't, because I don't know enough about him to, comment on that. But a few of the things that Joe Rogan did bring up, he didn't have much to say, or he resorted back to something similar that he was saying. Me personally, for the past 4 years, I've been doing research into a little bit of everything. Near-death experiences, out-of-body experiences, angels, demons, God, aliens, the universe, astral projection, witchcraft, any kind of religion, any kind of religious text, a lot of different things. There's been a lot of different things that I've been researching over the past 4 years. And I by no means can call myself an expert in not one single field, because I'm not. I am looking into going to college, though, to get my bachelor's degree in psychology, because for what I want to do, that will be the first step. So that's what I'm looking into right now. And yeah, that's where I'm at. And but anyways, during my near-death experience, it opened me up to a lot of things that I've never heard of, or even if I did hear of them, I didn't believe in them. For instance, God. I've heard of God my entire life. Did I believe in God? I was kind of on the fence. I did, but I didn't. That's where I was. But now, I can't even call myself a believer in God. It's more like I know God. I have my own personal relationship with God. And to each his own. To each person is different. Each soul is different. Each soul is on their own unique journey, in a way. So,
what's infinity plus infinity? That should also be infinity, because it's the biggest thing. Then you subtract infinity from both sides, and you get infinity equals 0. That's even worse. So this is terrible.
But yeah, y'all, the main thing I wanted to do on this video was, man, I tell you, if I could ever sit down with somebody like that, which maybe one day I can, sit down with Wesley Huff, or I don't know his full name, but Cliff, the one that goes to these universities and talks about the Bible, or I can't. Does he talk about religion or just the Bible? Talk to him, or go on Joe Rogan's podcast, or Sean Ryan's podcast. There's many of them that I want to go on. I've been on Tia Renee's podcast. I've been on Jeff Mara's podcast. And, there's just so much to be said that it can't all be said in one sitting. It has to be stretched out. And that's the reason that I did start writing. That's the reason that I did make a YouTube channel and all these other, things, so I could get on here and make videos, and talk about my experience and just dive into a lot of different things. So that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at, and that's what I'm currently doing. So let me pause this for a second, y'all. What's that racket? What's it racket? I don't know what it is, but I hear it somewhere. Any hooser. You sit down and get back into it. Oh. So I started doing research into many, many different things. Many, many different things over the past 4 years. Learning a little bit of everything. And I see how everything has a connection, right? I see how everything has a... Considering, let me just, for instance, this book right here. This book right here. The Art of War. This book. Now, because I'm curious on things, I looked up the summary, like to summarize this book and what it means, the conclusion, whatever. And what I seen was, okay, I can see how that is a summary or a conclusion for this book. But to me, I came up with a different summary and a different conclusion for this book and what it meant to me. Now, everybody's different. But to me, the Art of War is not only about knowing your enemy on the other side of the field. To me, personally, it's about knowing the enemy within yourself. Knowing who you are, your ego, and the battle within yourself, within your own imagination, your own belief system, and things like that. Knowing your enemy to defeat your enemy. And you can be your greatest helper, but you can also be your greatest enemy. So to me, that was a another reason I was reading this, and to know a little bit more about it too. And I put a post on Facebook about how, to me, there was a deeper meaning to this book than just knowing an enemy across the field. It was to know the enemy within yourself, so that you may not be hindered by the enemy that is inside of you. So, which everything connected to me. But there's another amazing little book, and you can see all these pins I have in here, all these different pins where I've but the Hermetica, Lost Wisdom of the Pharaohs. This is an amazing little book, y'all, and I recommend that y'all get y'all a copy. You can pick it up for like $10 on Amazon. But it's an amazing little book. But yeah. No, my near-death experience, it opened me up to a lot of things that I've never heard of, or if I have heard of them, I didn't believe in. And it made me realize that everything that I knew or thought I knew, I was wrong. I was completely wrong. And it rewired me in such a way that before my experience, I was still lost, but I didn't think I was. So before my experience, when I go and I look in a mirror, I see who I am. I see myself. But after my experience, when I looked in the mirror, it was like I was looking at a stranger. I didn't recognize who I was looking at. It was like a, complete opposite. I had no idea who this person is that I'm looking at. And it's almost as if who I was has died, and I'm somebody new, but still in the same body. And that's kind of how it happened, you know? But, mm-hmm. That's some good pizza, y'all. You know, I was thinking earlier about wearing this shirt that I used to make. I used to do all my lives in the same shirt, and just to keep them kind of uniform, I guess. But it was a Scarface shirt. If you know who Scarface is, you know who Scarface. Say hello to my little friend. You know that Scarface. Um, it was a Scarface shirt. Well, when I did Tia Renee's podcast, uh, I was going back through and reading the comments, and there was somebody that commented on there about the shirt that I was wearing, and she said something about what is that shirt for? It's not for somebody who's supposedly spiritually enlightened. I wouldn't choose something like that. Something like that, you know? And all I could think to myself is that if you're spiritually enlightened or not, does what you wear make you who you are? Does your clothing make you who you are? It's just a shirt. Now, if you want to become spiritually enlightened, or if you do become spiritually enlightened, say if you do have a near death experience, an out of body experience, and you completely throw away everything in your wardrobe and start over, well, if you can afford to do that, or you want to do that, then go ahead. But I'm not fixing to sit there and throw away clothing or not wear clothing just because it has something on it. It's just clothes. Yeah, it's you know, I've read lots of these comments, whether it was from the whether it's comments I get on TikTok, or whether it's comments I get on YouTube, the different podcasts that I do, or it's comments that I get on posts on Facebook or whatever. I read them, and you know, sometimes I'll entertain them, sometimes I won't. It just depends. It just depends on how I feel about it, or if it's a person that's legitimately curious about, you know, what happened during my experience, or maybe something they're interested in me further explaining a specific detail or aspect of my experience or something like that. I'll get on there and you know, I'll comment, I'll reply. I do most of the time, but even then, sometimes people, they get to a point to where they have their own opinions, they have their own feeling, their own ways about things, and they say whatever they feel. But yet, I say it like this: there's a train track, and people are rather on the left side of that train track, or they're on the right side of that train track. But if they're on the left or right, they refuse to see how the other side lives. They refuse to go to that other side and see what they go through. They refuse to find a mutual ground. Their way is right, and anything else that contradicts their way is wrong. They refuse to believe anything else other than what they believe in. And if that's how you are, I won't tell you you're wrong. If that's how you are, I'm okay with that. I can be okay with that. But if that's how you do and how you choose to live your life, why try to push your beliefs onto somebody else? If they don't believe what you believe in, it's okay. They don't have to believe what you believe in. But some, they feel so strongly that if you don't believe what I believe, you're going to hell or you're wrong. I'm pretty sure in mainly what you believe in, it doesn't even say that in what you believe in. It doesn't even teach that. That is not even part of the teaching. It may say that somewhere, but then there's also further readings and further education that you can do into it that not contradict it, but they give you a different viewpoint from it. Started out doing entertainment hipster stage, much later trained to be a insight. Essentially happen to talk with their shadows. You know, I've known people like that throughout my life that they, the way I looked at it is there was somebody that was largely in my life and they didn't have much of a life themselves. So what this person would do is try to get involved in every single aspect of everyone's life around them and try to turn them into them, pretty much make them do what they wanted them to do. And I didn't let it affect me. I'm still going to do what I'm going to do. You know, that you can try, but that's not what I want to do. I don't, and this, it would make this person so mad. They could control everybody else around them, but you couldn't control me. You couldn't control me. I am, but I'm not at the same time because the way I kind of explained it, and sometimes things are hard to express for me, and they're even harder to understand for other people. But whatever we go through in our lives, whether it be good or bad, when you make it through it, you will, not everybody, because I'm not saying that there's some people that been through really bad situations and they're still to this day struggling with it. But me personally, everything that I've been through up until this current moment and continuum made me who I am today. So without going through those experiences, whether they good nor bad, I wouldn't be who I am today on this amazing journey that I'm on right now if those wouldn't have happened, if it wouldn't have happened the way it did. So I'm deeply, deeply grateful for experiencing those things. Even though they're bad, the bad things that I've went through, I've in a way made my peace with them. I've came to understand why they happened, how they happened. But if I didn't go through them, I wouldn't be where I am right now. I try, and it's something I tried to teach to other people, um, and I've tried to explain, and I tried to express it in a way that whatever you're going through, be it good nor bad, I promise you, when you come out of it, if you can understand why you had to go through this heartache, because it's building you stronger. It's preparing you to be able to face battles like that and to persevere through them. No. I used to get triggered by things. I used to get real triggered, especially in the beginning. Um, especially in the beginning, I used to get very triggered, but I realized that all of us have a trigger. But you know how triggers operate. You have to have somebody pull the trigger. So for your trigger, whatever it is, somebody still has to take an action and to trigger you. But once you realize that you're in control of your trigger, you have to have that control. Um, there can't nobody trigger you, and it's hard. It's for some it's easy, for some it's hard. For me, it was a constant battle. I'm not saying that I don't still struggle with it from time to time, because I still suffer from this human condition. Don't we all? But at the end of the day, it's a constant thing. It's you can't, oh, I got this down. I got this down pat. But tomorrow something could happen that triggers you. But just yesterday you had complete control of it, but yet here today you had a road rage incident. Well, I thought you said yesterday you was in control of that rage, but yet here you are having a road rage incident. You see what I'm saying? So it's uh, a constant thing. You have to, in this moment, be ready for it at all times. At all times. It is. And at the same time, there's a lot of things that I did hold on to. And I'm not saying that every great now and again I don't struggle with them psychologically, but at the end of the day, I have worked on it. But like I say, it is a constant thing. It's not, I forgive myself today, but tomorrow there could be something that you go through, something that you think, a thought that pops into your mind, anything that could set those triggers in play and try to make their trigger fingers itch. So in the long run, it's just a everyday, constant um, self-control thing. And yeah, but my near-death experience, it like I say, there's a lot of stuff that I've never heard of near-death experiences or out-of-body experiences or none of this until I had mine, and then I started to do research. My mom's, the matter of fact, the first one that she told me about Jeff Maher's podcast and Dolores Cannon and a bunch of others that I've never heard of before. Yeah, that's fine with me. I can't remember his name at the moment, but he reached out to me. I've had several people reach out to me and want me on their podcast. I've just haven't had the opportunity to do them yet. It's just a lot's been going on, and I just haven't had the opportunity to do their podcast yet, but I eventually will. Yeah, Dolores Cannon. Uh, I haven't. The only thing that I watched. Hold on, real quick. Give me 1 second. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So over the past 4 years, okay, I got you. Over the past 4 years, I've been doing a lot of research and I've been talking on YouTube or TikTok or Facebook. But the first video that I ever started to watch by Dolores Cannon was a video on YouTube, and it's from the 3 Waves of Volunteers and the New Earth by Dolores Cannon. And I only watched it up to a certain point. There was a point in there to where she was a hypnotherapist, and she would say that she would put people in these hypnotic states and that these entities would come through. And what she said is that when these entities came through, each time they would come through, they would give her a piece to the puzzle. And I got chill bumps instantly when she said that. It clicked to me, and I shut down the video, and I didn't want to watch any more of it because I understood. When I had my near-death experience, how it was given to me was like a puzzle. I mean, it literally looked like a puzzle. It had a bunch of different puzzle pieces, and on each puzzle piece had a picture. But the only problem with it was a lot of people describe it as getting puzzle pieces. But the issue with mine was I was given the complete puzzle. But how I understood it was, so if I give you a puzzle piece, you have time to sit there and study the shape of the puzzle, the picture on the puzzle. So when you find the connecting piece, you understand why the picture on this piece of the puzzle fits to this next one. You understand their connection. That was my only problem with being given the complete puzzle. Is now, over the past 4 years, my job has been taking this puzzle apart piece by piece and finding out why this puzzle piece with its shapes and this picture on it fits to these other ones to make this grand design. So that's what I've been doing for the past 4 years, is trying to take it all apart, to dissect it, to figure out what it means, why they connect to each other, so that I can then teach what I know. So that's what past 4 years I've been trying to do. And sometimes, especially like within the first probably 2.5 years, there was a few times that I've never had a panic attack before until I started doing research into some of this stuff. And then there was a few times, like there was one night I remember, I don't even remember what I was researching, if it was just all in my mind or if I was researching into something online. I couldn't tell you. But I started to have a panic attack, and I felt like I was having a heart attack. I called 911 and everything, and they showed up, and they said it sounds like a panic attack, asked me if I wanted to go to the hospital. I told them no. But at that moment, that's when I realized that I was trying to answer things too quickly. Like I was trying to force the answers to come. And I've since then realized that you can't do that. I mean, if it's just not your time to know, it's just not your time to know. You can ask the question, but it doesn't have to come immediately. Sometimes it doesn't come immediately. It may not be the right time for your soul to comprehend it. It may not be the right time for your physical body to comprehend it. Sometimes they take time. It just takes time. So ask a question, but if it doesn't come immediately, don't beat yourself up about it. Don't try to force it. Just release it, let it go. And when the time is right, it will appear to you. Believe it or not, that's how I found out that it operates for me best, is to just ask, release, and accept the knowing when it comes. So, and it's like that's how I found. It took me a while to actually find out what I was, and I guess the new age word for it is channeling. I was a channeler, and how it operated was very simple. What I am is like the dam to a spillway. All the answers that are in existence exist. They all exist. Every answer to every question, according to the Akashic records, they already exist. But how do you see the answers? How do you get the answers? Well, you have to bring the question into existence. That you will not see the answer until you ask the question. So what I was is that when I would talk to certain people, they would ask me questions. And how it worked, if you are the right soul, the question is right, and the time is right, then the answer was then released through me. I had no idea what I would say until I was saying it. I mean, and a lot of times I would have people that would text me, and I would ask them if I could send them voice messages. I would tell you, you don't have to, leave a voice message. You don't have to call me or nothing like that. But to me, it's easier to get out than texting it, because sometimes it comes too fast for me to sit there and try to write it all down. So it's easier for me to speak it and then send the message. So people would ask a question, and when you ask if it's the right time, you're the right soul, and the question is worded right, the answer could then be released through me. Like I say, I had no idea what the answer would be until it came through me. But there was a few times that I would have people that would ask questions, and I may have answered a bunch of their stuff, but then they would ask a specific question, and I wouldn't know why, but I was told that I can't answer that. And if you ask a question and I can't answer it, I'm not even allowed to know, because I'm not the one that asked the question to begin with. So whatever the answer is, I don't even know. Because like I say, when you would ask, I had no idea what was going to come out until it was coming out. And it was freaking trippy. It was the most trippiest thing to me, considering 4 years ago I didn't even believe in this, but here it is. I'm channeling answers for people that I have no idea what I'm saying until I'm saying it. It was crazy. Still kind of gets to me every great now and again. But yeah, like I was saying, this I've been curious about hypnotherapy and stuff like that. I may try it one day, but my main thing is what is this? Oh, nothing. I've been wanting to go to those like ayahuasca retreats or things like that, because I've been interested in that for the past year maybe, and I think it's pretty cool. I think it's pretty cool, and I've wanted to try it just to see, just to see. I mean, nothing may happen, but everything under the sun could happen. Who knows? I don't really know, but yeah. I love you, my beautiful wife. I know. But yeah, so my near-death experience was pretty amazing, considering I came out of my body, I showed myself to my body, then went in a completely different body in a different dimension just to have a brain aneurysm and die, to release from physical form, just so I can have access to information that's not normally accessible during an out-of-body experience or near-death experience. So that was kind of, for one, I've never heard of this. I didn't believe in it, but yet it's happening. And then to have had understand that in the span of, I can't even remember, 15 to 30 minutes or so, I went through hundreds of millions of years in 15 to 30 minutes or so. That was, I couldn't quite comprehend it at the time. And I understand now how that was possible. Because when it comes to time, that's there's a monkey wrench in that, when it comes to physical time and spiritual time, I guess you could call it. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But yeah, I was watching the other thing earlier in the podcast with I don't even remember his name, but he was talking about he believes in God and the devil and angels and demons. And then the guy asked him if he believed in aliens. And he didn't quite outright say that he believed in aliens. He said the government believes in aliens. And I've said before in my my videos and stuff that people are on the sides of the train tracks yet again. You have one on the left side that believes in angels and demons, and then you have one on the right side that believes in aliens. But yet, if you believe in aliens, you won't believe in angels and demons, and if you believe in angels and demons, you won't believe in aliens. Well, I believe in both. I believe in angels and demons, and I believe in extraterrestrials. Why? Because I believe that certain ones can be very similar, but yet they differ at the same time. Because during my near-death experience, or right after my near-death experience happened, when I came back to this body while I was still in the room that it happened in, is where I seen the first entity. And the first entity was a projected consciousness. And what that means is, if you're familiar with remote viewing or astral projection or the gateway experience, the gateway process, anything like that, you can third eye spies, you can project your consciousness into other states, other realms, other dimensions, so forth and so on. Well, you got to think, we are not the only species out there that knows about this. There's other species that know about this and have mastered it, so to speak, that can, not only project their consciousness into a different room, they can project it into different dimensions, different realities at will and control it very, very well. So the first one that I seen was here in this house, in the doorway of that room that I had my near-death experience in, and it was a projected consciousness. So I could see it as clear as day, but I could also see right through it like it was a ghost. I could see the wall back behind it and everything like that, but I could also see it. And I found out what that particular one was doing. Now, I'm not saying they're all like that, but that particular one, what it was doing. And it had its arms pointed out towards me. And what it was doing is they feed you with a frequency or vibration, an energy that is negative. So when it comes to that sense, it's an idea, a thought. They plant a negative idea or a negative thought in your mind. And if you take action on that negative thought or that negative idea in your mind, you're creating a reality in its image, a reality that it wants you to create, an image in its image. So it's using your own free will against you. It's using your free will to create a reality that it wants to create. And it happens to people all the time, and they're not even aware most of them are not even aware that it's happening. And the ones that are aware that it does happen, they found ways around it. Even some of them still happen to be affected by it, and so forth and so on. But and then I only seen one of that entity that time. But then that same night when I came outside, I seen multiple different entities of a different species. And I've Jeff Mara, I'm pretty sure, had asked me like what was the feelings that I got from them. Like, did I feel they were hostile or were they friendly? And that was a good question because nobody had asked me that question up until then. And the immediate first response that I got was they befriend you. So like while you're looking at them, they smile and wave. They smile and wave. But then when you turn around, they stab you in the back. Not in like a violent type of way, but they I don't know how to explain it, but it's like just watch them, because I'm not saying that they'll do something while you're looking at them. They may not, but don't turn your back to them. Don't turn your back to them because you can have dealings with them, but if you turn your back to them, whatever happens happens. Don't turn your back to them. That's all I'm saying. But it was crazy how I seen them, because that first one, like I say, was a projected consciousness, but these other ones were coming out of some kind of portal. And it was normally rather 2 at a time or 3 at a time. But the first ones I seen was in the front yard, and they came out of a portal. But it wasn't a round portal like most people describe. That's not the kind of portal I seen. The kind of portal I seen was, I can't even describe how tall it was. I mean, 15 to 30 feet tall. I mean, I couldn't really tell you, but I know it wasn't touching the ground. It was hovering off the ground, slightly angled, needle thin, but it looked like and it was slowly rotating, and it looked like there was a rainbow effect in it. And it was some kind of portal. And they came out of this portal, and they had on like a skin tight uniform. Like if you look at Star Trek or something similar to that, those like skin tight uniforms that they were wearing, that's what these had on. But the biggest thing to me was, this is a completely different species. But yet when I heard them telepathically. They were speaking telepathically. But when I heard them in English. And I got, as the time went on, I got thinking about that. I'm hearing a species that has its own language. I knew that they had their own language, but I'm hearing them in English. How is this possible? But then again, like I say, everything's connected. And it hints at this in the Bible. And it says there will come a time where there won't be any language or anything, spoken language or written language, that you won't understand. And it kind of clicked to me that I understand they spoke in a different language, but when I heard them telepathically, because my main language is English, when I heard them telepathically, I heard them speaking English. I understood what they were saying in English. And that's like if I would have spoke to them telepathically, it may have sounded like English to me. It may have came out as English, but when they heard me, they would hear me in whatever language they spoke. Or even if they did understand English, they would have understood, heard it in English. But it's pretty crazy. Pretty crazy. I love you, my wife. Are you taking a nap? Oh. Okay. I went in there and warmed up this food because I said I was hungry. And then I've just been letting it sit here and not eating it. I am eating it. I was hungry. I'll tell you what though. The fuck was that? Did you hear that? Huh? There was a big boom outside. Like, I don't know. It was a big boom. Hold on a second. I'm going to go look. I heard one earlier, too. I don't know, love. I need to check those. I need to check those group pages, though, to see if anybody has said anything about these booms going on around here. Yeah, I know.
I guess it's like the pressure or the air buildup or something like that.
Yep.
Like, I guess it's like, it's normal, there's nothing to be concerned about, so I wonder if it's the same thing.
I don't know. But these booms are trippy.
The what?
The booms.
The what?
Booms. Those big booms.
Oh, you said they're what?
Trippy.
Oh, okay. I couldn't hear that last part.
Oh.
Oh, little girl. No. Little girl.
Oh. Let me give these crusts to the dog. Hold on, love. We'll go back. Okay. Thinking about only doing live for a few more minutes and then shutting it down. It's not reaching like I thought it would. And plus it's what time is it? It's almost 5 o'clock. I've been over here for an hour and haven't really. I need to get me a. That's what I said last time I did this. I needed to get some kind of game plan before. Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and shut them down. All right. All right. Well, hey, just letting you all know. I love y'all. God bless you. And go to my YouTube channel and watch some of the other videos I posted. Pretty amazing. I love you. God bless you.